The man accused of setting 8 fires in one Vermont town reportedly admits to doing it. Thanks for choosing Channel 3 this morning. I'm Alexandra Montgomery.
And I'm Avery Powell. New this morning, who police say is behind a multi-year arson.
Impeaching him sends the message that that is absolutely not acceptable.
Lawmakers will try to impeach President Trump for the second time. What a local legal expert says about whether they'll succeed.
Creating more than just art. Live in Burlington, I'm Kevin Geis. The unique role Vermont's art is playing thanks to the Art and Embassies program that's still ahead on Channel 3 this morning.
Yeah, the key word in the weather lately has been stubborn. Stubborn clouds that just don't want to go away, and also some stubborn snow showers and flurries that just don't want to quit. That's what we've got out there again this morning. Temperature's not that bad. We're starting out in the mid to upper 20s. Got some low 30s here in the Champlain Valley. We're at 31 in Burlington. A high today of 36, and yep, more of the same. Cloudy skies, chance for a few flurries. Going to stay this way right through the end of the week, but a bigger storm system coming in just in time for the weekend. Looks kind of messy. We'll talk about that in the Max Advantage forecast in just a bit.
From WCAX Channel 3, the Channel 3 News This Morning starts now.
After several months and several fires, police say they've caught the man responsible in Stowe. Alexandra, we're told he admitted to those crimes.
Yeah, police say 62-year-old Jeffrey Nolan, who is from Stowe, admitted to setting 8 fires. That includes at the Stowe Public Library, a chiropractor's office, and twice at Stowe Vision Cable. The first fire was back in March of 2019, and the most recent was just this month. Police say the total damage from the fires is well over $1.5 million. He'll be in court today, charged with 8 counts of second-degree arson.
The House is on track to impeach President Trump again today, this time on charges that he incited a mob to storm the U.S. Capitol. But what are the chances of this impeachment effort moving forward? We talked with a constitutional law expert, Jared Carter. He says it's a, quote, legal certainty that the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives will vote in favor of the article of impeachment that claims the president, quote, threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with a peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a co-equal branch of government. But Carter says it's unlikely the Republican-controlled Senate will convict President Trump before he leaves office.
And there's just no way that the Senate, even if they had the political will to convict, is going to vote 2/3 to convict the president of the articles of impeachment in a day.
While removal from office is not realistic, Carter says impeaching the president would set a historical precedent. New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik disagrees with her alma mater this morning, all over her challenging the results of the presidential election after rioters stormed the Capitol building. Stefanik graduated from Harvard in 2006. She first became involved in Harvard's Institute of Politics as a student and sat on the institute's senior advisory committee. The dean asked Stefanik to step down. She refused, so he removed her yesterday.
And there's a national petition on change.org urging her to resign. It has 1,000 signatures, but Stefanik has enjoyed strong support in the North Country. Just in November, she won re-election with 58% of the vote. And both the upstate New York GOP and Essex County GOP chair jumped to her defense. They say her opponents are using the D.C. riots to further their agendas. They say calls for her to resign are unfair and an insult to her supporters in the North Country.
There are outlets all over the place for works of art, from hospital hallways all the way up to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and everything in between. Channel 3's Kevin Geis is live after talking with a local artist about a unique opportunity.
The Art and Embassies program was formalized in the 1960s under the Kennedy administration. So for over 50 years, it's been sending works of art all over the globe. And this year, some Vermont artists are being featured all the way in Cambodia. The residency of U.S. Ambassador W. Patrick Murphy will have 16 works of art from Vermont artists that have the potential to be seen by thousands when they visit. For some artists, this is the first time being featured through the Arts and Embassies program. For others, they've had their work in other parts of the world as well. Elizabeth Fram is an Art and Embassies contributor that has had work in Latvia and has done exhibitions in France and the Netherlands. She says after being introduced virtually to Cambodia by Ambassador Murphy, she knows her art can play a big diplomatic role.
he had in the video, he was showing pictures of Vermont and equating Vermont with the farming industry with Cambodia. And so I think that connection through art is just tremendous. As you know, we're all just people, and I think the arts are a way for us to relate to each other and see more our likenesses rather than our differences.
Fram also tells me what she loves about the program is their mission of creating cross-cultural dialogue through art, something she tells me she's proud to be a part of and can call herself an art and embassies artist, which is something she sees as an honor. Coming up in the next half hour, I spoke with Ambassador Murphy about featuring Vermont artists all the way on the other side of the world. For now, reporting live in Burlington, Kevin Geis, Channel 3 This Morning.
Thank you, Kevin. Vermont remains ahead of most other states in rolling out vaccinations. So far, only healthcare workers, first responders, and patients in long-term care facilities have been eligible. Later this week, state leaders will announce plans to the next group of recipients. Next up will be people over age 75 and those suffering from chronic illnesses. Details on when and how those shots will be administered will be released Friday. So far, Vermont has administered 26,600 doses. That includes almost 1,800 people who've gotten their second dose. Overall, about 4.3% of the eligible population has been reached. That's tied for 6th best in the country. Anyone over the age of 65 can now get the coronavirus vaccine in New York now that the governor has expanded eligibility once again. But the 3 University of Vermont Health Network hospitals in New York are still focused on the first round of shots.
Hospital leaders say healthcare workers are still working on giving shots to healthcare workers and community healthcare partners. However, CVPH Dr. Woodaritsima says they'll move on to what's called Phase B if they get more of the vaccine. He says right now they must focus on those people in the first phase. The state has created 2 resources to help people figure out if they're eligible for the vaccine and how to get an appointment. We'll put that link with this story on WCAX.com.
The winter months make it hard enough for some restaurant owners to serve up a steady profit, but pandemic protocols have made it even tougher. In Vermont, COVID-19 safety requirements limit restaurant capacity and only allow people from the same household to sit together. Some are doing their best with in-person and takeout orders. Other owners are taking an extended holiday leave, and others are shutting down until it's warmer. A survey will be heading out soon to find out which places are still open in Burlington. Corrections officials are investigating after 2 women died of overdoses at a facility run by DOC. Coming up, what we know about their deaths this morning. And for the first time, the head of the Vermont AFL-CIO is a woman. Still to come, how she wants to have jobs for everyone in Vermont who wants one.
And this Wednesday morning is starting out right where Tuesday left off, with a lot of clouds out there, even a few flurries. They've both been pretty stubborn. Going to stay that way for the rest of the day, too. Right now we're 31, headed for a high of just 36 degrees. And it's going to stay this way, really, for the rest of the week. But we have more weather action coming in just as we get into the weekend. Kind of a sloppy storm headed our way. I'll have the latest in the Max Advantage forecast next.